is Bob Barbas, just doing God's work.
Dante, get out of there! You're in danger!
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Vergil's Downfall, Vergil Must Die difficulty video walkthrough. This is the first mission, entitled Personal Hell, and yeah, this is the new DLC. This is the Vergil content that we've all been, eagerly anticipating, and it's here. Well, it's not technically here because I got the code early from the place I pre-ordered it from, and they sent it me, so I tried it, I downloaded it, and boom, I could play it, so that was awesome. And I wish I had that luck more often, because I really don't. But this is it, and this is it on its most difficult setting, because Hell and Hell is challenging, but it's set to Son of Sparda, which is the difficulty below this one. And I'm probably going to be covering that as I get a little bit better with the game, because the first thing I'm going to say here, guys, is this is one day of playing as Vergil, and I'm not very good. Vergil's combat is all about juggling, it's all about keeping enemies in the air, and there's a lot of encounters on this particular piece of DLC where there's not a lot of flaw. There's a lot of floating platforms, there's a lot of flying enemies, and I'm in the air so much and flying around and teleporting and doing all the crazy Vergil stuff that I fall off all the time. And I die a lot. I really do. This DLC is much more difficult than the standard content because the environments seem to just make me fall off. Gravity is my bitch. Sorry, I am gravity's bitch. I said that wrong. It just owns me in every conceivable way. So you're going to see me do big fights, I'm doing combos, I'm using moves, it's all looking nice, and then I'll fall off. And it happens a lot, so I'm going to apologise in advance. Vergil is pretty tricky to get used to, especially when you first start. What I will say is when you first start the DLC, if you start on Nephilim like I did, the game isn't fun for the first like 20 minutes because you don't have any moves. You have 2 combos and that's it. As soon as you start getting the angel weapons and the demon weapons, the game is so much better. But at the start, I fucking hated it. I really did. I didn't enjoy it at all. It wasn't fun. He felt slow. Coming off Metal Gear Rising, it felt slow, it felt unresponsive, I had no moves, it just wasn't cool. But the more you play, the more developed Vergil gets, and I think you're looking at a fully maxed out Vergil for this, because the content is 6 missions, and it lasts about, give or take, 2 to 3 hours, depending on how quick you are. There is 1 boss on the new content, and there is 2 new enemies. This is the first of the new enemies. This guy's called a Wisp, and he's effectively like a flying, floating phantom enemy that's made up of crows. And if you hit him with your swords, which are the equivalent of guns, your phantom swords, you'll turn invisible and you can beat him up. And he's pretty simple because you can just jump cancel his tits off and there's nothing you can really do about it. He does glow gold once you've damaged him a significant amount, and what happens there is you cannot use the demon pull and the angel pull to get close to him. It doesn't work anymore, so you've got to cover the distance manually, and I don't think that's a very good design decision, because it forces you to alter your gameplay, but it also makes it really awkward to get to them because they're flying and they're evasive and they're very fast at times as well. And my strategy for killing them really quick is a pretty simple one. I use the angel pull to get close to them when they're in the air. It turns them so that you can hit them, and then from there I just jump cancel on Y. And while I'm jump cancelling Y, I hold X, and it initiates the phantom swords around Vergil. And what will happen is the swords will do damage, your jump cancels will do damage, and as soon as you see him turn gold, which means he's at the end of his life, if you do the right trigger, which is the demon arm, and you do the double B, it'll do a stomp, like a ground pound, and it does 2 hits, and if you connect with these 2 hits, he's dead. There's nothing he can do. I just did it then. Do you see me how I pounded into the ground? You're going to see me do this a lot, because Vergil he's not weak, but his demon arm is so slow, and so it's not very fun to use, that getting damage quickly on enemies is difficult, and you're going to see me utilise jump cancels a lot more than you saw me with Dante, because they're actually useful. and they're useful with Virgil because you can use the phantom swords to get extra damage, and then you can finish with that really good ground and pound move. And if you're not too good at jump cancelling and you're curious of how to do it, I do have a tutorial on my channel which will make you a little bit more competent. The timing on this game is really easy. Like, there's no way in hell I could jump cancel as long as I can on this game in any of the other Devilmaycrys, because they've made the timing window so much more relaxed. But as you can see here, it's really simple, and the only thing you want to watch, there you go, gravity owning me again. You're going to see that a lot, folks. I do apologise. I suck right now, I really do. It's been a while since I played Devilmaycry, so I was rusty to begin with, and Virgil is a completely different character to Dante. But I should really give you a quick review, because when you play this a few times, and you're going to have to do it to unlock Vergil Must Die, you have to beat both. I think Nephilim or Normal will unlock Son of Sparda, and then Son of Sparda unlocks Vergil Must Die. So you need at least 2 playthroughs, and in those 2 playthroughs you're going to get a ton of moves, you're going to get a lot of experience, and you're going to understand what you're seeing, hopefully, so I don't need to explain the combat too much. So instead, I'm going to give you a little opinion on the content as it stands right now, and the first thing I'm going to say is I think it's a little bit disappointing. It's not bad by any standards. I do think DLC, intrinsically is generally pretty poor. Even the fully fleshed things, they very rarely add, the same kind of oomph that the campaign did, and it's just that money-making scheme that a lot of developers are using nowadays to make us pay money after we've purchased the game. But this content there are numerous difficulties to play it on. There are 6 missions. Those missions come with 1 new boss, 2 new enemies. One of them I think is absolutely atrocious. I don't like it at all. That is the imprisoner. You'll see him later. It goes against all the tenets of Devilmaycry, and as I stand right now, I'm not very good at fighting it. I don't know the best way to kill it, so my opinion is incredibly biased on the fact that it just seems to take a lot of damage, and it's not very fun to fight. I'd also like to apologise. I left my notifications on for this one mission, so Mr. Photobomb, Stenhouse, thank you very much for that, or Stenhose. You get to be in the video. But you did help me, because I did turn them off immediately afterwards, so thank you for that. It's a rookie mistake, but we all make it. But the content it's a lot of environments you've already been through with a twist. And the twist is nice, the traversal is good, it's still quite imaginative, but you can't get away from the fact that you're playing the second level quite a lot. And the second level was long enough in the game, so to me, I was a little bit disappointed with that. The combat is much more arena-based. You're going to come to environments like the one you see right now, and you're going to fight wave after wave of bad guys. There is nowhere near the same kind of progression of difficulty and enjoyable fights as there was in the main game. At times, you're going to really feel the fatigue of the fights, because they come in waves, and there's a lot of dudes. There's a ton of dudes, and don't get me wrong, the combat in this game is great, and I like fighting, but when it's just 4 waves in the same environment, it's not as fun as if you spread it out intelligently and made it, I don't know, a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more intuitive than just, walk into a new environment, gauntlet of enemies, walk into a new environment, gauntlet of enemies, and there are these interesting moments of quiet and chaos, put together, juxtaposed quite well, and then every so often you really feel that you've been fighting in an area for a little bit too long, and this is one of them right now. And you'll notice I'm having quite a lot of difficulties. I'm getting hit, I'm getting beat up a little bit, and it's all because of the lock-on. And there you go, gravity beats me again, fall off, and you're going to see that a lot, so I do apologise. But because there's no real lock-on on this game, you can use the analog to kind of change who you're looking at. It puts you in these situations where you're trying to attack the people in the air, because as a rule of thumb on this game, anything in the air is either a nuisance or a bastard, and you want to get rid of it first so you can focus on the people on the ground who are quite fun to fight. And these wisps are a perfect example, and there you go. I'm trying to hook onto another enemy, but I don't think there are any. Yeah, because we were in the middle of a spawn, so I fell again. But yeah, if you're anything like me, guys, you're going to spend more time falling off than you are fighting, because Vergil teleports to enemies, and it's so much fun. You knock them to the distance, you teleport to them. It gets really addictive, you know, just getting in the face, doing your combos, using your moves, having fun, and the next thing you know, there's nothing left. You're in the middle of nowhere and you fall to your death. So you need to be really careful. But these are the rages, and anybody that's, you know, struggled with rages in the past, I have good news. There are no elemental rages in this DLC. They've completely gotten rid of that stupid mechanic of hitting them with angel, hitting them with demons. They're all standard rages, and Vergil destroys rages. Another thing some people are going to be really happy about, there are no dreamrunners at all. Not a single one of them. I have no idea, I quite like them myself, but they decided not to use them. Anyhow, that is the end of the first mission, guys. I've left the ranking in so you can see that even if you die, you can still get a good rank. And if you're half as acrobatic as me and you fall off as much as I do, you're going to die. It's just how it works. But that is the first video in my guide to Vergil Must Die, so hopefully it'll help. Thank you for watching, and you take care now.